somebody sent me this article and I actually thought it was not what I read. I'm an Extinction Rebellion protester. I thought you were protesting the Extinction Rebellion, but oh well. And I'll be disrupting your work commute. Here's why. Because you're mental. That's the start. So Chloe Adams, she's a journalist and a climate activist apparently. This week, thousands of ordinary Australians and many thousands more across the globe will disrupt major cities with rolling blockades to draw attention to the climate crisis. So how's your blocking of traffic helping the climate crisis? That's half your fucking problem. I'm already wired up. They will do so under the name of Extinction Rebellion. I call it fucking retards. A new environmental movement, mental for sure. As a result of their actions, your life may be disrupted. You may be forced to wait or find another route. You may even become angry. Yeah, well, I don't even have to be there to be fucking upset with this shit. Inevitably, these protesters, myself included, will be reduced by some news media to just another bunch of climate activists. Yeah. I want to tell you though, that term climate activist, whilst true, is limiting. Yes, it doesn't really cover how mental you are and that you're in a cult. It certainly doesn't capture the truth of who I am or why I joined, because somebody's put you into a panic. It doesn't tell you that I am a mother of two children. Well, does that change it? Okay. Or that I've lived a law-abiding life. Oh, that means you're a rebel now. Yeah? Wow. Hardly. It's an organised protest. What, you think they haven't got permits to be in the city to protest? Why do you think it wasn't on Grand Final March on their parade day? You should have had it then if you really wanted to disrupt something. You didn't disrupt. It's all organised. It doesn't really give you any insight into who I am. Yeah. You wouldn't know, for instance, that I am haunted by one image. The moment my children are old enough to understand the gravity of your mental illness, and they look me in the eye and ask, "But what did you do, Mummy?" Yeah, I did stuff that perpetuated the problem. Unlike the cover-ups of the past, tobacco, asbestos, those supposed weapons of mass destruction, wow, are you implying that wasn't real? Wow, that's pretty full on. I wonder if you think 9/11 was real. How rebellious are you? This cover-up is being perpetuated by all of us every day. Okay. Yes, governments are failing us, but we are all complicit. The facts are quite literally a tap of a keyboard away. They're not. It's been, if you go to Google and type in, well, you don't think you're getting a loaded response. That's half your problem. You know, you've been fed out of your feed rubbish, and therefore you're spitting out rubbish in return. The fires, here we go. This is what I heard at the local council actually. Some woman got up there flipping out, like she's in Melbourne, in the city Melbourne, and this is what her problem was. The fires in tropical Queensland and high altitude rainforests of New South Wales, the drought across eastern Australia, like all the other droughts that we've had. This country, it's even got it in their songs. It's a drought country. It's always having droughts. Loss of species so dramatic, scientists are calling it Earth 6. Which scientists? More like, so, dramatic scientists, see? Dramatic scientists are calling it, see? Just dramatic ones, not, see how if you read it right? In recent report, the World Meteorological, where's the meteors, organisation warned that climate change is accelerating faster than expected. See? What climate change? Pick one. What's it doing? It's just... And the most terrifying part, here we go, I'm terrified. Everything we experience now was written into our destiny several years ago due to the lag between carbon being emitted into the atmosphere and its effect on the climate. Okay. Yeah, because we're greening, aren't we? We are in desperate times and nothing else has worked. We are stuck between past mistakes and future horrors. And we pretend it all away. Chicken Little much? We pretend it away because we're too busy, or because we feel we have no power, or because our puny imaginations can't truly grasp the meaning of the threat, or because it's too painful to fast, or it's bullshit. Denial has become our greatest defence, but will it help our children? Think of the children. I want to tell you that after much soul-searching and endless cycling between fear, anxiety and denial, surely our leaders will do something. I have come to see that my inaction is an act of betrayal committed against the people I love most in the world, my own children. So if you didn't have children, would you care as much or not? I'm wondering. And while I grapple with all these questions, I'm strengthened by that one thought. We're in desperate times and nothing else has worked. Some of the greatest minds in climate environmental farce, Sir David Crappenborough and Tim Ainlery, among them, have spoken out in support of non-violent civil disobedience. Yeah, it's non-violent, it's organised, you've got a permit to protest. History tells us such methods do work. Really? Where? When? Here we go. Only one might consider the suffragettes or the civil rights movement of the 1960s. How'd that work out? You're still in the same drama today. So that failed. You didn't stop anything. You actually probably made it worse because you didn't give a shit after the 60s. You're the problem. And already we're seeing it work in the climate space too. Oh yeah. Since this Extinction Rebellion was launched in the UK last year, more than 1,000 jurisdictions around the world have declared a climate emergency, which is the first of XR's 3 demands. Okay, climate emergency! Woo! It is comforting to know that I'm far from alone in my worry. In just 1 year, Extinction Rebellion has sprouted chapters. That sounds like a cult. That's a cult in more than 70 countries. Yeah, just like every other thing. So if you're a Scientologist, if you're whatever, go on. And it's now operating in every state and territory across Australia, like every other cult. And of course, we in XR follow and acknowledge the many who came before us, the climate scientists, the environmental advocates who have worked tirelessly for decades, and before them, the traditional custodians of this land who cared for it for millennia. Okay. It is both an outrage and tragedy because collectively we ignore the experts. The experts are not experts, they're failures. And since our political leaders refuse to act, it is falling to ordinary people like you, yeah, to tell you the truth of our climate emergency. And you know, do you? Yeah, right. Indeed, it is ordinaryless that in perhaps the most compelling aspect of Extinction Rebellion. We are 80-year-old grandparents, 40-year-old parents, the 20-year-old tradies. Oh, yeah. We are psychologists. It sounds like you need a psychologist. And truck drivers, so, yeah, okay, and electricians, all providing the electricity and the power to your house to allow you to look at your keyboard and buy your shit online. Yeah, you're helping the planet. Thanks for that. We're ordinary people who can't sleep at night. Well, fucking take a tablet. If that's your problem. We're stepping out of, because you've got psychologists there, you should be able to get something prescribed. We're stepping out of our comfort zones. Yeah, wow, you're so out there. Look at you. You'll be back in your little fucking heated room before you know it. We are the powerless. It's good that you're powerless. That's half your problem, isn't it? As Greta Thunberg, the 16-year-old Swedish schoolgirl who triggered mass global strikes, told the UN last week, "You have stolen my childhood." Yeah, and I believe with that waking up comes personal responsibility. Chloe Adams is a climate change mental case. Thanks for your time, Chloe. Next.